Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Alakai. Today I am coming to you after a little while off of YouTube. We're going to be talking today about KastKing product. This one is something that I've been really excited about for some time. This is the KastKing ReKon. Now, most of you guys know that I do a lot of saltwater fishing. Not too much freshwater. A lot of times this will be saltwater and it's on the boats, and I'm doing a lot of stuff on 3/4 day, half day, full day boats, and we're just going down rock fishing. We're doing some stuff in the mid levels, and I need reels for that, and reels for different setups, different gear, and also because I bring my son along a lot of times, I need a whole different setup. And this was an opportunity for me to try out one of the KastKing products made for that type of application, and it's the KastKing ReKon. So, just as normal, you get a nice little box here. We're going to be doing a little opening here. Take a look at it. We've got, there it is right there. In the box, we have the reel itself. We'll get to that in just a second. We have a backing plate just to hold it on there and secure it onto the rod. We have the braid information, those stickers that you get. These are really handy. You stick on the bottom of the reel. You just describe what kind of braid pound test you have and when you put it on there. It's good information to have. You get yourself a little sticker. You got yourself a little isometric blowout of what the reel is. Of course, it's in color, which is what I always appreciate from KastKing. And you got the reel itself. Now, this is the 20 size, so there's making it in both a 10 and a 20 size. The 20 size is a little bigger. First thing I noticed is that this thing is really lightweight. Very lightweight. And I have opened this before, and I've kind of fiddled with it a little bit. Let's go through some of the main things about this reel. Of course, we talked about the lightweight. We've got a clicker on here. Pretty loud. There you go. On and off. Quite simple for that. The big power handle. Get yourself a big handle so you can grab onto it, and my son can have a good grip on this thing. Standard tension knob, and we have the line spooler, right? So the disengager and engager of the spool. So take it off, and actually it's on right now. There it is. Take it off, and there it goes. Pretty quiet overall. This thing holds quite a bit of braid, actually. 50 pound, I think it's holding 500 yards, so it's got plenty of capacity. But let me tell you about the main reason why I got this. Of course, when you're a kid and you're using these things, and anybody who's starting out in fishing, you have a hard time with these types of conventional reels because your thumb, you got to guide the line back onto the reel. Let me give you an example. This is a Pen 500. It's pretty much a standard reel in the industry. And as you notice here, it's pretty open face, and when you reel it back in, and if you don't do a good job, it shows like this. It's got a little mound there. And as you bring in the line back in, you got to bring it back and forth with your thumb. And if you don't do that, when you go down, you could get knots. Basically what happens is that one piece of the line will overlap the other piece of the line, and it knots up, and it causes a pain to go and get, to untangle that. So you have to unspool it. Basically, it's like a bird's nest. But the reason why I got this reel is because for people that I might be loaning it to, or my kid, I'll disengage it, and right there, you see it actually has a directed line spooler. So it actually will direct the line back on there, so you don't have to take the time to do that yourself. It'll just automatically do that for you, and that's a huge, huge deal for people who are just learning how to use these types of reels. Alright, so, and even when you disengage it, you see a line spooler going back and forth there too, and this is disengaged, so it's not reeling in right now. So disengaged, goes forward, disengaged, nothing's happening, but as you spool the reel there, it will go back and forth also. So nice. Got good drag on this thing. I think it goes 30 pounds if I remember right. Simple drag. It's strong. Oh, let me give you a size comparison. So again, it's pretty small, but again, a Pen 500, pretty much a normal size reel, and it's just about the same size, really. But I can promise you that the handle on these things are way better, and the weight. This is easily half the weight of this thing. I think it's got graphite infused sides, but yeah, it's for lightweight applications. Now, I'm going to be spooling this up today, of course, using KastKing Super Braid. And for this type of fishing I do, I'm going to be using 50 pound. This is 327 yards. I am going to be putting a little bit of a backer on there because I want to bulk up the inside so I can get more ratio, a higher ratio of line when I'm cranking this thing in, or anybody else is cranking it in. Today we're going to be using the line spooler from KastKing also. A whole bunch of KastKing stuff. This is the radius line spooler. I'll be using this, of course, because I don't want to sit there and hold my spool of line with my feet or with the box or anything. So I actually got the little line spooler. I'll show you how to use that in just a second. And I'll be loading this thing on my normal rod that I'll be having this on. Again, for people like I'm going to be borrowing it, or even for me to use it, is going to be, of course, the KastKing Kong rod. This rod is going to have its own video in a little bit of time. This rod is awesome. This is such a good rod, and I think this combination is going to be perfect, absolutely perfect for half-day, three-quarter-day applications. And you know, still, again, KastKing, a low-cost alternative, keeping fishing fun, and gives you the opportunity to do everything you need to do with without breaking the bank. You don't have to go and spend you know, $500 for a setup, and you can just kind of get on the water and enjoy yourself. And if it falls, a lot of times new people, they'll lean the rod against the rail, thing will fall because of course your boat's moving as you're getting bait or something, and you damage your reels really quickly. You damage your rods, you break off these eyes and stuff too. So I haven't had that yet. I've used the rod a couple times. Again, I'm going to have a whole other video on that, but let's load up the ReKon to see how it looks with the line on it, and then we will put it on the rod and be on our way. Now, as I'm spooling up the line on the reel, I did put some backer on there just now, but one thing that's important to remember is that when you have your new reel of new spool of line that's going to go onto the reel, the radius line spooler actually it comes with its own little tension band, if you will. And you put this on to the spool to make sure that it's not just like free spooling as it's coming off of the line spooler. I'll show you how everything is set up in a second there, but that's what I'm doing right here. I know that when I'm talking about it, or when I have it on the rod itself, you're not going to have a good chance to take a look at this thing, but that's what this is right here. It's just a tensioner. It's an elastic band with a little pressure clip here. And it's got a little hole right there where you feed your line through. So make sure that your line is not just like free spooling off of the spool when it's coming off of the radius line spooler. So I'll show you how that's done, but that's exactly what that elastic band is that you're going to see just in a second. Okay, so here's how everything is set up. Got my line spool there with that tension band on there that we talked about. The radius line spooler is actually on my Kong rod. Just fastened it down, and it's stuck on there. Now, one thing to note about using this radius line spool is you need to make sure that your spool is on there turning in the right direction. If not, the little holder here will actually undo. So just make sure that it's coming from the bottom of your spooler. They'll talk about all in the instructions and that thing. There's the ReKon attached to the Kong, quite simply, and it's just going through. Of course, I made sure it went through the alignment tool. Got some white backing on there, some old braid line that came off of an old reel I had. I just did a simple uni to go and attach the 327 yard spool I'm going to be putting onto this reel. Holds a lot. 50-pound test, 327 yards, let's go. Quite simply, just as easy as that, really. Making sure that your drag is set and it's just coming off of the spooler. And I personally like to kind of guide it a little bit, but it's not really necessary. But it's nice to do. It's simple enough. And it's just as easy as that. I'm just going to be doing that for, I don't know, 10-15 minutes or so. I mean, how easy is this? No feet, no second person complaining, just simply running it. Yeah, it makes it easy. So I'll see you in a little bit. I'll finish this off. Okay, so we're done with that. I mean, it took, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes, and it went on nice and smooth. I went ahead and just taped it off at the end, and here we go. We used almost all of that entire spool. Again, I did back it with some, I think it was 80-pound braid that was kind of worn down a little bit. So yeah, we got a nice full spool here, and we are going to go ahead and attach it to the Kong rod for upcoming trip we're going on, and this is going to be great. I mean, this is going to be such a good alternative to spending a bunch of money on crazy equipment for my son, who's, you know, who's going to go onto a boat for one of his, it's probably his second time on the half-day boat. But also, you know, he's part of Boy Scouts and stuff, and it's really good for us to go on these boats. And sometimes kids who don't have any of these equipment can actually borrow this rod setup, and it won't it won't pain me to see some of my good equipment go and fall down and be treated, you know, maybe not as somebody who's experienced or has paid for it, really would take care of it. So this is an awesome alternative, and it seems to be just fine. When I get off the boat, I will be spraying it down with some water, just as I normally do. And in the off season, like I do with all my reels, I'll be taking it apart. I've got 3 screws here. Doesn't seem to be too difficult. Looks to be 4 screws on the top, and I'll just be ripping it apart and just kind of cleaning it out if I need to. Probably not this season, but maybe after next season. I think it's gonna be awesome. This is gonna be a really cool alternative. So I'll do one last little show of the whole thing set up with the backing plate onto the Kong rod and everything ready to go, and then we'll close up the video. Okay, so there you go. It's mounted all up on the Kong rod. It's got its little secure backing plate. It's always important for this type of fish, you know, go ahead and drop that on there. I was kind of impressed that they put that in the box, because it's always nice to keep the reel steady. You normally keep it on top like this as you're reeling in, and again, you do a lot of the thumb play, which kind of causes sometimes a lot of different rods to loosen up on the rod holder. So it's always nice to have a bit more stability with the reel secured to the rod. Everything looks great. Again, I'm going to be doing another video on the Kong rod system, but for the time being, this is going to be on this rod. It's going to live on here for the near future, probably until next year. I did think about it, and I was talking a lot about the radius line spooler. A couple different things I wanted to discuss really quick. I might as well just talk about it here. Radius line spooler, you just secure it to the bottom portion of a rod or your fishing rod, and you can spool a casting or spinning reel in no time at all using those little tension bands and everything. It's really kind of interesting. You just kind of clip it onto your rod, and if it's a spinning reel, you attach it to the front, and if it's a casting reel, you attach it to the side. You just have that little spooler there, and there's some really cool things to it. So you just put your spool line there, and then you just kind of lock in your little screw there where the spool is, and you just reel it on, and there it goes. So it's really kind of a nifty little treat, a little gadget for you to have to make things a little quicker. I couldn't imagine spooling 300 yards of line, you know, holding it with your feet, or positioning it with like a long screwdriver or something with some kind of tension. I was doing that for the longest time, and I'm telling you that this thing has made it so much easier, and I'm just so I'm so thankful that I got this. I think it was about $8, $10 or something like that on Amazon. I'm not sure how much it was, but with all their crazy sales and everything, you can always catch these types of things on sale. That's it for me for today. Again, the KastKing ReKon. Where'd it go? There we go. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I was helpful to you in order to make a decision on if this is the right reel for your application. I will be taking it out on trips in the very near future. It's kind of towards the end of the season right now, but I will be getting out there. But hopefully it helps out. If I was of any help to you at all, please consider subscribing. Hopefully I earned it. Go ahead and like the video if you can, and leave a comment. I'll be sure to get back to you. Again, this is Alakai for Fisher Noob Channel. Take care, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.